Hello, good day. How was your day? So today I'm going to talk about PHP strings for the first topic because I have like four topics to do or like to discuss. So let's talk about PHP first. PHP string first. So let's talk about PHP strings. So let's define first what is a PHP um, string. So, according to this definition, a string is a series of characters where a character is the same as bytes. So, this means that PHP only supports a 256 character sets and hence does not offer native Unicode support. So, how are we going to create a PHP string? So, basically, we can do that by enclosing the text or a string inside either single quote or double quote, and then we could echo it out or print it using either echo or print methods. Okay, and actually, it's all um creating PHP string using single quote or double quote are actually the same. So if a string is enclosed in a double quote, PHP will interpret the following escape sequences for special characters. So these are the escape characters that we have for PHP. So we have the backslash n, backslash r, t, v, e, f, backslash dollar, and double quote, and the sequence of character for matching the regular expression also, and then this two. So basically these are the scapegoat or escapes character that we could use for string. Okay. Okay. So variables in string. So when we say variables, these are actually the holders of the value of a string. So it's the same as with other programming language. PHP also uses a PHP for either string or integer numbers. We practice to use a variables. Okay, so there's an example below here. So this is an example of a variable. The name is my string, and it includes my. This is a string that assigned to variable, and then the way you can print it out is using this way. So okay, so let's try to do that in the programming. Okay, so I'm gonna use this um, Visual Studio Code. By the way, before you can go and run this file, you need to first set up this XAMPP server, the Apache server. We need that running. Okay, so yeah, just don't mind this MySQL here because I was working on some project a while ago. So yeah, so make sure that the Apache is running. Okay, so yeah, so let's go back here. So I have here an index PHP. By the way, so this file is saved on the here here in Windows in drive C inside the exam folder or SAM folder, and then htdoc. So the name of my folder here is topics or topic 5 here. This is the one. So if you're gonna look at here, index and try is also the same as here in my editor. Okay, so make sure that you are in the htdocs so that it will be running. Okay, so let's have the PHP tag. So there um says there the first one is we need to enclose the string in either single quote or double quote. So let's use echo. So I'm gonna use first the single quote. So this is a string in a single quote. Okay, and then I'm gonna end it with a semicolon. Okay, and then second one is I'm gonna use a double quote. This is a string in a double quote. Okay, then end it with a semicolon. And okay, all right. So yeah, so that's one. And then the second one is we're going to create a variable. Okay, so let's try to create a variable. I'm going to erase or delete all of this. So the name of the variable is my string. So this is a string saved on a variable. About the variable parsing. When we talk about variable parsing, so this allows you to assign a value of a variable or parameter to a variable within your source. So or by directly using the value themselves. It is possible to use parsing to call a variable from other folders. Like okay, so we have examples here where it says here we have a variable named juice and it has a content or a variable value which is an apple, and then we have three examples here. So echo he drank some juice, echo he drank some juice made out of this, and we also have like echo he drank some juice made out of something. So we will try to find out if all of these three examples here are actually um working. Okay, so let's go first with our code editor. So here, so I'm just gonna erase this one. So we have the name of the variable which is juice, which is equal to apple, and then here it says echo he drank some. Okay, they call the name of the variable juice. Okay, let's save this and then let's run it in our browser. So one, two, three. Okay, so he drank some juice, apple juice. Okay, how about doing it in the second example? So let's go to here. So that is echo he drank some juice made out of juices. Okay, let's see if this is gonna work. Okay, let's have a break line over here. So save this, and then let's go back to our browser, and then let's okay. So if you're gonna look at here, it says here undefined variable juices. Okay, because if you're going if we're gonna go back to the if we're going back to the code, the variable that we have here is the variable that we have here is juice, not juices. So basically, PHP will not recognize this variable because it has never been used and it has never been declared. Okay, so this is basically wrong. Okay, so let's try to put some comment here. This is incorrect. Okay, so we have the third one. Okay, let me go back. Let me just go back here. So he drank some juice made up of juices. which is written this way. So he drank some juice made out of. Okay, so we have the dollar code, I mean the dollar sign, then we have the bracket, curly bracket or braces, and then here we have juice, and then outside of that is we have Judas. Okay, let's try to check if this gonna work. Okay, but before that, let me just put some BR here, and then let's try to go back to our browser. So let's try to refresh that. Okay, so it works. Okay, so if you wanted to like do that, you can always put it inside the curly braces, and then outside the dollar sign, outside of it's the dollar sign, and then whatever that you wanted to append on that specific variable, you can. Okay, so that is the variable parsing. So let's try to go back again to our presentation. So, okay. So similarly, an array index or an object property can be parsed with array indices. So the closing square brackets, which is this one, marks the end of the index. So the same rules apply to object property as to simple variable. So for example, we have here, which I print screen. Um, we have the juices. So this is the variable name which is stored in an array, wherein we have apple, orange, and then the cool aid, which is I think this is an associative one, and then we have the cool aid one with purple. So if we're gonna echo it out, okay. So if we're gonna echo it out. So let's see what's gonna be the. Okay, let me just copy this whole thing, and then copy this, and then let's go back to the code. So here I'm gonna paste it here. Oops. Let's do this one. Okay, let's do some editing over here. Okay, oh my god. Okay, so public this one is. Okay, so let's try to save this one. Oops. So, I think we have, yeah, here. This is the problem here. Because I have the PHP which should not be there. Then this one also. Okay, so this one, let's. Okay, okay, so let's try to save this one. Okay, it doesn't work. Hold on. Let me double check this. Hmm, hmm. Save it. let's try to save this and try to. Let me just check first. Mm. So there is. So we are basically saving this string to this variable my string. So in order for us to print this, you just need to echo, then call the name my string, then save it, refresh. Okay, so this is string save on a bar. So that's it's actually easy to use the um it's easy to use variable names when saving a specific, like for example a long message that you want to reuse once, um I mean paglaon. Okay, so yeah, so that is for string or variable string. Okay, let's go back here. Okay, so let's go to the variable parsing. So parsing allows you to assign the value of the variables or parameters to a variable within your source, or by directly using the values themselves. So it is possible to use parsing to call variables from other folders. Like for example, here. So we have juice. This is the variable name, and the value of juice is apple. And then with the use of this string, we are going to parse this whole string with the value of the juice. Okay, and so on and so forth. So this is a three example. So one of these three is an error. So we will try to find out which of these three is the error. Okay, so going back here, so that is set again. So it's juice, which is equal to apple, and then so echo he drank some um, juice, juice. So that's one. So let's put beer here, and then echo he drank some. What's that again? I forgot. He drank some juice made out of juice made out of juices. And the third one is he drank some juice made out of. Am I correct? Oh, he drank some juice made of juice. Let's put BR here and also here. Save. Then let's run. Okay. So this is string and this string saves on a variable name. He drank some apple juice. That's correct. So undefined variable juices, which is on the line 10. So we're going. Let's go back there. So line 10. So this is an error. So it says here that there is an undefined juices. So we're using a juice variable, not a juices. So that's why we have this becomes a problem or an error. But the third one, let's try to look at the third one. He drank some juice made of apples. which is true. So which is an acceptable um, algorithm or way to actually output the name or the value of this variable. Okay, so yeah, so that's part of the parsing of a variable string or a string. Okay, so we could also do that by using array. So later on I'll show you. So I have it here in the try. So okay, let's not look at this part yet. So here, so we have variable name juices and it's saved on an array. So we have the index 0 is apple, index 1 is orange, the associative array, which is the Kool-Aid is the key, Kool-Aid 1 is the key, and then the value is purple. So if you're gonna echo it out, so let's try to use this one. Okay, just comment. Just going to comment this first. Okay. All right. So let's save this. Then let's try the to check the value. So that's inside the try.php. So he drank some apple juice, some orange juice, and purple juice. So undeterminate single comment story. Okay, okay. So that's one. And then we could also use that's for array, but we could also use it in objects. So let's uncomment this part. Okay. So in this part, so we created a class with um with variables inside, which is John, Jane, Robert, and Smith. And then with respective values, John Smith, Jane Smith, Robert Paulson, and Smith. So we are going to instantiate an object from the people class. So we call it people, and then um we're going to output this one. Okay, and then let's see what is the result for this one. So let's refresh. Okay, so John Smith drank some apple juice. John Smith then said hello to Jane Smith, and John Smith's wife greeted Robert Bolton. So that is um the result of this code. So you can parse the whole this string using this one. Okay, so going back. Okay, so as of PHP 7.1.0, also negative numerics indices are supported. So, so we have here an example which is string, and then it is going to echo the character at index -2 is what? So if you're gonna guess that, so what is the -2 of this um, string value? Okay, so let's find out. Going back here, so I have it here. So, so what do you think would be the answer for this one? So let's try to run. So the character at index -2 is n. So what is our what is our string? It is string. So what's the negative 2 of the string? So that's just negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, negative 7, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, negative 6, only negative 6. Okay, so yeah, so how about this one? So here in this code, we are going to the negative 3 of the negative 3 index of this of the string um will be changed to O. And what do you think would be the value of the string now? Okay, let's try to say this. Okay, changing the character at index negative 3 to O gives strong. So from string, it becomes strong. Okay, so that is the negative indices for um array. So let's go back to string function. So we also have this string function. So these functions are used to manipulate string values. So we are now going to look at some of the common used string functions in PHP. So we have the first one, the str to lower. So it is used to convert all string characters to lowercase. Like for example, echo str to lower Benjamin. So all all characters that is in uppercase will become lowercase. So we also have the str to upper, which is used to convert all string characters to uppercase letters. So, well, basically, so in the example George W. Bush, all the lowercase will become uppercase as an output. And then the strlen, the string length function is used to count the number of characters in a string. Spaces in between characters are also counted. So, for example, if you have United States of America, so that is equivalent to 24 characters. Okay, we also have explode. So, explode is used to convert string into an array variable. So, for example, we have the setting, which is equal to um which uses explode. So the whole string is host is equal to localhost db equal to sale uid is equal to root p password or pwd is equal to demo. And the thing is, we wanted to explode the whole string here, the whole string whenever it meets the semicolon. And then after that, so it basically assign it to indices. And then it will basically chunk it into different parts as long as um it meets the semicolon. So and then after that, if you're gonna print that using print r, so this is gonna be the result. So let's try to do that. Okay, so here I'll go back to the index. So let's say we have, what is the string now? So let's say um, connection connection equal to um, host equal to local host db name equal to class, and then we have uid equal to root and then we have the password, which is equal to no pwd. Okay, now we're gonna use the explode. I'm gonna um, save it to explode equal to explode, and then the first parameter would be the delimiter of the um, explode function, which is, I'm gonna use it here, the semicolon, and then I'm gonna call the string that we are going to access or check, so which is the connection. Okay, and now we're gonna print the explode function, I mean variable. So let's save this. Let's go back here, and then let's go to the index. Okay, oops, I'm sorry. Let's go back here. Okay, save. Okay, so let's save it. Okay, so if you're gonna see, if you're gonna look at here, so the first the first index is at index 0, wherein this is the first index. Host is equal to localhost. The second index is db equal to class. The third index is the uid equal to root, and the fourth index is pwd equal to no pwd. Oh, no pwd. So that's how explode works. So let's try to check also substring. So it says here, substring is used to return parts of the string, and it accepts three basic parameters. So the first one is the string to be shortened, and then the second parameter is the position of the starting point, and the third parameter is the number of the characters to be returned. So in this example, we have the my var is equal to, this is really a long sentence that I wish to cut short, echo. So it echoes substring. This is the name of the variable, and then where it should start. So it starts at 0 and ends at 12. So that's the third parameter. So the number of the characters to be returned. Okay. So the number of characters that you want to include from 0 to 12 characters. So if we're gonna look at this one, okay, so let's try to copy this. So I'm gonna copy this one and then paste it here, and then we want to cut it, wherein we're gonna echo um str substring. So that's gonna be sub str. So the name of the variable, my var, and then starts at 0 and ends at 12, or 12 characters. So that's gonna be, let's save. Okay, this is a array. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, ulit. 1, 2, 3, 12. Okay, so that's 12. Okay, how about if we're gonna change the starting point? Let's say, let's start it with, mm, let's say around 7, and then let's make it 15. Okay, let's try to refresh. Okay, so a really long. This is the um this is what we're going to get. A really long. Okay, so I hope you get that substring function. Then we also have the str replace. So we use to duplicate and replace specified string value in a given string. So the function accepts the three arguments. So the first argument is the text to be replaced. The second argument is the replacement text, and the third argument is the text that is unanalyzed. So in this example, we have the the would be um word or the string that will be replaced with the word that. Okay, and then the whole string is the laptop is very expensive. So if we're gonna do that in coding, so let's say, so let's echo str replace. So we are going to change the word the with the word that, and the whole string is the computer is really expensive. Okay, let's echo. Let's save. So that computer is really expensive. So from the computer is really expensive became that computer is really expensive. So that is the str replace. So let's try. Okay, we also have the star position. So used to locate and return the position of the characters within a string. So this function accepts two arguments. So what are the sorry. So so it returns the position of the character or the string that you were looking for or trying to locate. So in this example, we have a string PHP programming, and then um what we're trying to locate is the pro. So when did it started? So basically that's in the fourth um index or position. So if we're gonna count that, so that's gonna be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the space is counted 4. So that's why it has an output of 4. Okay, so the SHA and the MD5, so these are actually used to calculate the SHA-1 hash of a string and the value. Okay, so basically this is used on in making passwords also, just to make sure that it is safe when it goes live. So that's the functions. So we also have the str word count. So it basically counts all the words on a string. UC first makes UC first is used when uh you wanted to make all the letters on the of the string. I mean all the first letters of a string, and also LC first is making lowercase all that starts. I mean you are going to convert the string first letter or first character into lowercase. Okay, I hope I make sense. So for a complete list of PHP string, you can also check at the php.net manual slash n slash rep that string php. Okay, so that's the end of the first part. So let's move on with the second part. Okay, so right now let's talk about PHP functions. And in this lesson, we're going also to define what is a function. So functions are similar to other programming language. So a function is a piece of code which takes one or more input in the form of parameters, and does some processing and return of value. So they are built in functions, but PHP gives you option to create your own uh, function. So, well, basically, we are using some functions or built-in functions in PHP, like if statements, which, for, and then what else? We also uses the echo print, the echo and print, I should say, for printing out the output of the values that we wanted to print. And so those are the common functions that we basically use. And then how are we going to create a function? So the first thing that you need to bear in mind is to give the keyword functions, and then the next to it is the name of the function that you are wanted to create, or the user defined functions. And then inside of that, um we are going to put something inside the curly braces. So let's have an example here. So in this example, um you are going to define a function by um using the keyword function, and then the name of our function is write message. Okay, so right after that, you should have a pairing, opening and closing parenthesis, and then inside of the curly braces is anything that you wanted to do with this function. So in this example, it only prints you are really a nice person. Have a nice time. And how are you gonna call the function that you created? So all you have to do is to call the name of the function. Um in this case, write message, um and then the parenthesis, and then semicolon. And then it would have a result. You are really a nice person. And so have a nice day. So it's also the same as when you create functions in either C sharp, C plus plus, okay, or JavaScript. So it they basically do the same thing. Okay, and then the structure are almost the same. Okay, so let's talk about the functions with parameters. So this PHP gives you an options to pass your parameters inside the function. So you can pass as many as parameters you like. So these parameters work like variables inside your functions. Okay, so in this example, we have a function named add function, and then there's a parameter num1 and num2. And then inside of the curly braces, um, it gets the sum of the num1 and num2 parameters, and then it will echo out the value of the sum. So it will echo sum of the two numbers is sum. So then after that, you're gonna call the function add function, and then and this time, so there are two parameters. So you're gonna put values on these two parameters. So in this case, in this example, we have 10 and 20. So since 10 and 20, inside of the add function, there is a command here or instruction that you need, that the function should add num1 and num2 and save it to the sum variable. So we have the output. Sum of the two numbers is 30, because 10 plus 30, 20 is 30. Okay, so how about the passing arguments by reference? So it is possible to pass arguments to function by reference. So this means that a reference to a variable is manipulated by function rather than a copy of the variable's value. So any changes made to an argument is, in this cases, will change the value of the original variable. So you can pass an argument by reference by adding an ampersand to the variable name in either the function call or the function definition. So let's have an example over here. So we have a function named add 5. So And then we also have one parameter in this function, which is the num. And then the instruction given into this add 5 function is that whatever the value that's inside, or the whatever value that you have for num will will add 5. So that's a 1. And then another one is function add 6. Okay, so this is now with the use of ampersand, which denotes as the passing arguments by reference, as it was stated on the definition. So in this case, so it's almost the same. So there's a num um parameter, and then whatever the value of the number, it will add 6. Okay, so in this in the lower part here, over here, so we have the original num, or orig num, is equal to 10, and we are calling the function add 5. So add 5 is orig 10. So echo original value is original value, and then we have the br, and then the add 6, since this uses the what do you call this, the passing arguments by reference. So whatever the value of the num will now become, or will now get the present value and add whatever the value, or whatever it needs to add it onto that um into the variable or value. So okay, so basically, so 10 is the original value. Okay, so add 5. So we are going to, okay, add 5. Okay, and then we are gonna echo the original value is already 5. So meaning that in this echo, we are trying to add, okay, in this one, but in this one. So we're going to try to add 5 to number 10. Okay, so that's 15, right? However, in the case of here, so add 6, or add 6. So we're going to get the value of 10, and then we were going to add 6. Okay, so that is um the difference between this function and this function. So the first function doesn't really actually change the value of the orig number. However, in the passing arguments by reference, it will add whatever value that is given to this orig number, will add whatever that's inside the function. Okay, I hope I make sense. So a function can return a value using return statements in conjunction with the value or object. So return stop an execution of the functions and sends the value back to the calling code. You can return more than one value from a function using return, or like array. So note that the return keyword is used to return a value from a functions. So in the previous examples that we have for functions, if you could notice that um, we always basically just echo things inside the function, okay, in order to print anything that's on it. Okay, so in this example, if you're gonna use a return value or return keyword, here's what's going to happen. So in this case, we have like in the previous example, we do is we have the add functions number one and number two for parameters, and then we add we add them, and then save it to sum, and then we have the echo, the sum of two numbers is equal to then the variable sum. Okay, but in this case, with the use of return value, we can just directly return the value of the sum, and then when we wanted to use it, So we could do is we could assign it to a variable and then call the function and then add values on the parameters, and then we can then uh, echo the the value of the return value. Okay, so in this case, it has the same answer as before. So that's how return works. Okay, I hope you are coping with. Okay, so setting default values for function parameters. So you can set parameters to have default values if the function callers doesn't pass. So following function prints null in case use does not pass any value to this function. Okay, so in this example, for setting default values, so we have here print me, and then we have a um, variable or parameters which is equal to null. So, and then it will print whatever the value of the param. So, if in this case we have we call the print me function first with giving a value or giving a string. This is test, and then on the second one we call it again without anything inside the parenthesis. So it basically does not give you anything because the default value is null. Okay. So dynamic function call. So if it is possible to assign function names as strings to variables and then treat these variables exactly as you would the function name itself. Okay. So example, we have say hello, and then we are going to echo hello, and then the break line. So we're gonna do is we're going to create a variable named function holder equal to say hello, which is the name of the function, and now it will become the function underscore holder becomes a function. So that's it. So I'm not really using this one because, of course, maybe I don't know how to apply, but yeah, so that's it. So that's it for this function. So I'll be back for the third and last report. Okay, so let's talk about PHP cookies and let's define it first. So what is PHP cookies? So cookies are files stored on a client computer and they are kept of use tracking purposes. So PHP transparently reports HTTP cookies. So a cookie is often used to identify a user. So a cookie is a small file that the server embeds on the user computer. So each time the same computer requests a page with a browser, it will send the cookie too. So with PHP, you can both create and retrieve cookie values. So there are three steps involved in identifying and returning cookies. So server script sends a set of cookies the uh, to the browser, for example, name, age, or identification number, etc. And browser stores this information on local machine for future use. So when next time browser sends any request to web server, then it sends those cookies information to the server and serves a server uses that information to identify the user. Okay, so that's how the cookie is. So how to create a cookie with PHP? So a cookie is created with set cookie function. So just bear in mind that this is the keyword or this is the function that we need to use in order to create a cookie. So what is the parameters that we need to put in or fill in with the set cookie? Well, the only important or the only parameter required is actually the name, and all other parameters are optionals. But you can actually do give the name, the value, the expire path, and then domain secure HTTP only. So those are the things. So let's try to, and then let's try to create and retrieve a cookie. So the following example creates a cookie named user with the value that John Doe, and the cookie will expire after 30 days, which is 86,400 by 30 days. So the backslash, oh no, no, the forward slash means that the cookie is available in entire website. Otherwise, select the directory you prefer. When we then retrieve the value of the cookie user using the global variable at $ underscore cookie. We also set the eset using the eset function to find out if the cookie is set. Okay, so oops. Yeah. So this is the example. So we have a cookie name which is equal to user and then a cookie value equal to Jando. So we're gonna use the set cookie wherein in the first parameter we're going to have the cookie name and then the cookie value, and then you're going to set the time that it will expire, which is time, and then this value, and then okay, so that okay, why 864,400? It's because in one day there is an 86,400 um 400, yeah, so there's an 86,400 seconds in a day. Okay, so so we're going to retrieve the cookie by using the eset function. So here, so if is set cookie, the cookie name, and then echo the cookie name, and yeah. So let's just try to code this one. Okay, I'm going to go back here. Okay, so I created here a cookie. So I created a variable name cookie underscore name, which is a value of Kenzo, and then a cookie value of Yelkina. So I set it with the name, cookie value, and then it will expire by within 30 days, and then I also use that it should be used on the entire website. So okay, so this is the thing that you always have to remind yourself with, that when setting a cookie, you always have to do that on the topmost part of the page. Okay, so before doc type HTML or the head or whatever. So it always goes to the very top of the page. Because if you do that within the page, it will not gonna work. Okay, so yeah, so once created, I will be checking if this cookie was set properly in the website. So with the use of is set, so we're gonna call the name of the global variable name of the cookie, and then the name of the cookie, and then if it's not set, well, basically it will echo out cookie name, and then it is not set, and then if it is set, then you're gonna see this one. So in this case, let's go back here. So it is actually set already. So as you can see, cookie is Kenzo is set, and then the value of the cookie is yel Kenzo, which is we assign on the cookie declaration. Okay, okay. Just like what I've said a while ago, so that you should always put the function set cookies before HTML tag, and then the value of the cookie is automatically URL encoded. So when sending the cookie and automatically decoded when received. So to prevent from happening or prevent from URL encoding, use the set row cookie instead. So you can just check that if you have time. Okay, let's move on with modifying the cookie value. Okay, so to modify a cookie value, to modify a cookie, just set it again. So the cookie with a set cookie function. So if you wish to like change something the on the cookie, so you can just go ahead and try to set it again. So if a while ago the name was John Doe, here in this example we can change the value to Alex Porter. So like for example, if I'm going to change this value instead of Il Kenzo, I'd rather use um okay, so let's just save that and then let's try to go back here. Okay, so as you can see, it changes the value of the cookie to Christian Kenzo Dior. Okay, so let's try to check. Okay, so here's how you can delete the cookie. So to delete the cookie, use the set cookie function with an expiration date in the past. So um, so you can do is set the username and then you can delete the value and then time minus the 336,000. So and then you can echo cookie user is deleted. Okay, so that's how you can do that. Um, okay, so check if cookies are available. So the following example creates a small script that checks whether cookies are enabled. So first try to check a test cookie with the set cookie functions and then count the number of cookies in array variable. So let's try to do that. Okay, so I created again a set cookie here named Kenzo, and then Yale Kenzo is the value, and then we have the this this is the expiration, and then the forward slash. So inside this one, we're gonna check whether the cookie is enabled or not. So by using the count a function. So if the cookie has more than a zero value, then the cookies are enabled. Okay, otherwise it is disabled. Okay. Okay, so that's the end of the topic about the cookies. So let's move on with the next one, which is the sessions. So sessions are is a way to store information in variable to be used across multiple pages. So unlike cookies, the information is not stored on the user's computer. So when you work with an application, you open it, do some changes, and then you close it. So this is much like a session. So the computer knows who are you. So it knows when you start the application, when you end it. But on the internet, there's one problem. So the web server does not know who you are or what you do because the HTTP address doesn't maintain states. So session variable solves this problem by storing user information to be used across multiple pages like username, favorite color, etc. or anything that involves you. So by default, a session variables last until the user closes the browser. So session variables hold information single about one single user and are available to all pages in one application. So one example of a session is whenever you log into your Facebook account. So it saves basically your username or and your password. So okay, so this session variable will be available across all the pages as long as you did not log out or as long as you did not delete or kill the session, or just like what it has been said a while ago, as long as you did not close your browser, your identity will be recognized. Okay, so let's try to look at here how to start a session. So a session is started with the function session underscore start. Okay, and then session variables are set with PHP global variable dollars and underscore session. So now let's create a new page called demo session one dot php in this page. So we can start a new PHP session and set some session variable. Okay, just a note. So the session start function must be at the very first thing in your document before any HTML tag. It's the same thing that applies to web, a cookie that you should do uh, do call session start at the beginning of the document. So that's before the HTML tag. Okay. So in this example, as you can see, session start is at the top of the HTML tag. So that's the right thing that you need to do. Okay, you cannot do session start inside the HTML. Because if you do, well, basically you will get errors or it will not function well. Okay, so in this example, it has session. Okay, so the session variable has a name, um, fave color, which is equal to green, and then fave animal cat. So you're gonna echo session variables are set. Okay, that's one. Okay, so get PHP session variable value. So next we are going to create another page called demo session 2.php. From this page, we will access the session information we set on the first page, demo session 1. Notice that the session variable are not passed individual to each new page. Instead, they are retrieved from session we open at the beginning of each page. Okay, so let's try to do that. Okay, so I created here a demo session 1 file, PHP file, and then there's another file, demo session 2. Okay, in demo session 1, we're going to set the values of the session, and then we're going to access the values of the session to the demo session number 2, or this demo session 2. Okay, so as you can see, I try to follow the rules when setting up a session. So I put it in the on the topmost part of the documents before HTML, and then inside the body tag, I set session variables, fave color and fave animal, and set them with blue and dog respectively. And then after that, I echoed out that the session is set. Now we're gonna um look it into the browser. So the name of the demo session. Okay, so that's demo session 1. Okay. So as you can see here, we have set the session. Now we're gonna look at this demo session 2 if the fave color and fave animal is remembered or recognized. Okay, so the favorite color is blue and dog. So meaning to say that from demo session 1, the fave color and fave animal is known or recognized. So that is for session. So another way to show all the session variable values for a user session is to run the following code. So you can use the print r and then the session global variable. Then you'll get result. And then to modify a PHP session variables, um, you can just override that by just simply setting up the new value of the one of the session variables. And then it will change basically. And then that's it. So to destroy PHP session, all you need to do is to have this to the session unset, which removes all the session variables, and then session destroys the session that you created. Okay, so let's talk about the PHP regular expression or the regex. Okay, so a regular expression is a sequence of characters that forms a search pattern. When you search for data or in a text, you can use this search pattern to describe what you are searching for. A regular expression can be single character or a more complicated pattern. So regular expression can be used to perform all types of text search and text replace operations. So in PHP, regular expression are strings composed of delimiter, a pattern, and optional modifier. So in this syntax we have, for example, we have a variable name exp, which has a value of the forward slash w3 schools underscore, I mean forward slash I. So in the example above, the backslash or the forward slash is the delimiter, and w3 school is the pattern that it is being searched for, and I is a modifier that makes the search case sensitive. Okay, so the delimiter can be any character that is not a letter, number, backslash, or space. So any, so meaning to say, aside from letter, numbers, backslash, or backspace, you can use it as delimiter. But the common delimiter that we use as for regular expression is forward slash. But when your pattern contains forward slash lashes, it is convenient to choose other delimiters such as pound sign or the tilde. So regular expression function provides a variety of functions that allows you to use regular expressions like preg match all, and preg replace functions are some of the most commonly used ones. So in preg match, it returns the it returns one pattern, a one if the pattern was found in the string, and zero if not. So in preg match all returns the value of times that pattern was found in the string, which may also be zero, and preg replaces returns a new string when matched pattern has been replaced with another string. So let's see if there's an example here. So using the preg match, so the preg match function will tell you whether a string contains matches of a pattern. So for example, we have here a visit W3 school string, and then we are going to use the pattern, um the delimiter w3 school slash, then delimiter forward slash, and it is case sensitive. Okay, so if we're gonna if we're going to like um echo it out with break match, so the result is 1 because it found out the w3 school in the str pattern. Okay, so using preg match all, so the preg match all functions will tell you how many matches were found in in a pattern in a string. So use our regular expressions to do case sensitive count of the number of the occurrence of in the string. So in this example, we're gonna look for the AIN, which is case sensitive. So if we're gonna look at here, so the string is the rain in Spain falls mainly on the plains. Okay, so the pattern is we're gonna look for the in word, and then we're gonna echo it out with the use of preg match all. So the output of this is okay. So with the preg match all, so the parameter is first we are going to put there the pattern, which is the forward slash AIN forward slash I. And then the second one is the string that we're going to check. Okay, and the output is equal to 4. So y4, y4, so we see that on rain, so that's AIN. We see that on plains, which is AIN. And we see that on MIN in Spain. Okay, so the preg replace function will replace all of the matches of the pattern in string with another string. So use a case sensitive regular expression to replace Microsoft with my W3 school in a string. So the string is Microsoft visit Okay, so string value is visit Microsoft, and then the pattern is Microsoft. So echo break match, and then the pattern that we set, which is Microsoft, and then what is the value that we're gonna replace with? It's double tree school, and then str, which is the whole string that we're trying to check. So the output of this is visit w3 school instead of visit Microsoft. Okay, so modifier can change how a search is performed. With I modifier, it performs a case-sensitive search. And if it's M, so that's the one. If you're gonna look at the patterns before, we have I in the last part, like in this example. So M performs a multi-line search pattern that search for the beginning or end of a string which will match the beginning or end of the line. U enables correct matching of the UTF-8 encoding pattern. And then the brackets are used also to find a range of the characters like ABC, so on and so forth. So you can check that online. Okay, and the meta character are characters with special meaning. So the pipe symbol, find the match of any one of the patterns separated by pipe as long as it's as in like cat, dog, and fish. Okay, dot find just one instance of any character, and then that's I don't know the name of that one, but it finds the beginning of the string as in, and then the final match at the end of the string as in world, something like that, and so on and so forth. So you can just read that meta characters. Okay, the quantifiers. So what are quantifiers? So quantifiers define quantities. So if it's the quantifier is n plus, so matches any string that contains at least one n. So if it's n and then the asterisk many matches any string that contains zero or more occurrence of n. And then if it's an n question mark, matches any string that contains zero or one occurrence of n. And then this one. So n bracket curly braces x matches any string that contains a sequence of x and the ends, and so on and so forth. So just read that and then try it. If your expression needs to search for one of the special characters, you can use the backslash to escape them. Okay. So for example, to search for patterns, I mean to search for one or more question marks, you can use the following expression. So the pattern is that. So meaning it will look for um number of ends. These ones, like let's say. Okay, so grouping you can use parentheses to apply quantifiers in entire pattern. So they also can be used to select parts of the pattern to be used as a match. So use grouping to search for the word banana by looking for BA followed by two slashes of NA. Okay, so that's gonna be that. So that's one. Okay, so that's the end of the presentation. So I hope you understand what's regular expression, session, and cookies are, and also the function and the string function. So I hope you you know you get something from this report. So thank you so much and have a blessed day.